What is going on, folks? Welcome back to the Multi-Faceted channel. As usual, the home for breakthroughs, the haven for all that is avant-garde and crazy unusual. Today's episode is the last episode of the Property BLS audio show Articles Turn Discussions, as it will be also philosophy time. And is it Lydia Amir time too, and her 2018 book, Taking Philosophy Seriously. And before we jump deep, rough enough this book right here before you, I want to talk about Lydia Amir for a second or two. Which is sadly irritating is that only little to nothing is known concerning this grand figure in the field of philosophy, meta-philosophy, and most importantly, she is still till this day a pioneer of the philosophical practice movement since 1992, which she has contributed to super enormously ever since. Oh my god, this is getting me super excited, folks. Also, for Lydia's so very little info about her can be found on Amazon, as you can see here. If you Google her name, or still her book's name, Taking Philosophy Seriously, as you might have seen too, there aren't Wikipedia stuff. And also to the Amazon's concern, it's where Lydia's books are being sold. That's all you get, folks. Even when you scroll down here and find all about this legend Lydia Amir, the old woman, you practically have nothing but very little info. So go ahead and read all about what she is as of right now, because I ain't gonna read or tell you a thing or two. It's too long, it'll take time. But here, folks, I got my own short and brief version of her info too, so go check it out. So Lydia is such a person of grandeur, and she's a pretty big caliber. She has a very big career, which I should be more than happy to tell you all about it here on Probability BLS. Also, folks, in this new category, just a quick review. If you get to the next page, you found this thing that goes by the Rethinking Philosophers' Responsibility. It's just one of Lydia's books, which was released in 2017, and which will be available in the second chapter of the Articles Turn Discussions, first as an article and then as a video. You get used to this kind of mechanism. So you go here and you get something of this book's abstract, and also right here, what you need to know is that in this category we're still in, the news category, is what to come of next articles and videos as of this very series. Okay, so we've established who Lydia was. Let's jump into this colossal book, the Taking Philosophy Seriously. And this book's content is super immense, believe me, because I'm sure you have read the abstract. As of right now, you probably stopped the video, read the abstract too. Just so you know, I won't be quoting nothing for you concerning the book scope, because you gotta check it on your own, and stick to the point where Lydia discussed and problematized in this book. I mean, the idea that philosophers, those in the field, as a situation where practitioners too, they're also taken into considerations. They aren't so fond of their vocation, that is philosophy, and that's also in teaching it philosophy too. As to her ideas in the book, coming up with a strong intuition of a material such as philosophy, period, and despite its orientations, whether radical philosophy or perfectionism too, or the democratized philosophy, also known as Meliorism. I mean, better still for the pristine or new practitioners to take their infatuation with philosophy quite loosely, you know, and rather surpass or imitate what an earlier sense of a breakthrough just seemed to provide. The least ways of an impact, you know, a dictum, or probably a platform. And though in the realm of academia, the very strict, the very severe and fully regulated, these philosophy practitioners would and could still gnash, as in angrily, for the right and still break free the contradictions that academia and philosophy and the multifaceted fixations they seem to have in common too. They eventually have managed to intermarry just chaotically, based on our modern time. Also, folks, lots of great thinkers on account of these two gigantic domains we just mentioned. Lydia just simply related them to her book, which I believe you can still, and you can find a little of it on Google Books, probably, or even PDF, I don't know. Point is, a huge caliber like Arthur Schopenhauer, Friedrich Nietzsche, Soren Kierkegaard, Benedict Spinoza, and also George Santayana, and I think a little bit of Plato and Socrates, I believe. Also Homer too. I'm not really sure, it's just all in there. And so you can see here too, tons of info you're missing out, which I just cannot share it that far, for you simply have to read to get this humongous amount of knowledge that's been written here, and also shared this audio with you folks. just a whole lot to account for. I mean, the point here, for example, the radical philosophy or perfectionism, as to a better approach to the book, Lydia and the Taking Philosophy Seriously book 2, I get to share that Lydia and myself are firm believers that the radical philosophy is a means of reconciling revivification to the academic and philosophizing. Check the description for the keywords philosophizing to the extent of the contradistinction or antinomy that are being misled into practicing or teaching philosophy. Also, in the plateau of academia and philosophy, folks, we mention that Lydia's urge of the academy's interest in perfectionism being revived, also reevaluating the tools or reconsidering the means, reinvigorating the means too, rethinking the methods of the contemporary practice of philosophy. Thus, or conclusively, problematizing the ideas of a dialogue, also self-knowledge, self-transformation, and these are just direct quotes still from her book's abstract in here, or also in here on Property BLS. So don't get too hyped, for I ain't telling you nothing at all. Go read, folks. You're missing out a lot. I mean, features like modernism, psychology, and especially New Age theories. It's so much prevalent in her book, as well as my article here. Also sociology, it's all to be found in the very honest elucidations of the Taking Philosophy Seriously here on Property BLS for a little change. And here, folks, as you can see, you got number 1, appropriating abstract thought in practice, then fostering intellectual virtues, lastly, developing more encompassing feelings through moral virtues. These 3 points are simply the tools for the term philosophizing. Also, folks, it gets better as you deepen these 3 tools for more info, as it becomes more immersive, insertive, indulgent, and crazy as ever to know about these info endless and timeless state of war of both academy and philosophy, or simply radical philosophy, perfectionism, and that of democratized philosophy, also known as Meliorism. Coming to the last point, which is neutralization, either for stopping the massive flow of philosophizing with no boundaries, also producing even fearful responsibilities towards being too narrow-minded and also dull into the considerations made from certain standpoints. And that is teaching philosophy as a vocation, like I said before. This is point number 1 concerning neutralization, and this is just a little addition of my own. Also, the plain perception of dialogue, like I've been saying before, self-knowledge and self-transformation, also points like high academic standards being intermarried with this huge amount of knowledge that is being shared into our world, and zeitgeist too, and responsibilities into thus philosophy, also into such a modern time of it being discriminated onto modernism, psychology, New Age theories, sociology too. It's all just mingled and put together. See how this book can actually be, and how also this article right here is being up to snuff into the sharings, and also up to the standardized criteria of the book's content. I mean, you gotta have a read this one. You gotta read it, folks, for more info. And also for neutralization, it comes to my very personal concern, folks, here, and that is neutralizing as in producing whatever that's powerful and is able to remove, listen well, the behemoth plateau of traditional philosophy, until this part which I mentioned, almost 0.00%. Until next time, folks, I promise you originality and authenticity up to snuff over this very philosophy being manhandled, and how traditional philosophy is and will always be the ultimate weapon of the biggest return of all time. You wait for it, and as of now, I want to be able to thank you dearly for joining the first chapter of the Property BLS audio show, articles, and discussions. Until next time, for the second chapter, it's been amazing for me personally sharing these grandeur of originality with you folks, viewers, and English language fanatics as well. I am very blessed having finished the first chapter off of the 11th episode, all packed for you to comment and like, and also share if you please. I mean, concerning this, Lydia's Taking Philosophy Seriously. Also, the last sentence I said was going to be a whole new and original article which will be available as to my personal opinion over the real and true discord, feud, or even war over the democratized philosophy and traditional philosophy. Get ready, for it's going to be absolute mess. Join us next time with your ideas, English language fanatics, on this very work I wrote on account and about. I truly do have it all figured out, also for the keywords as well, and for this big complexity of Lydia's Taking Philosophy Seriously book, And also go please check out the previous, the very first one ever, the full introduction of the Property BLS community and everything it stands for. Join us so we can create a humongous community and caliber of creative writing and critical thinking. First articles, and then videos. Why the hell not? I welcome all your comments, and that of crazy ones too. Subscribe to the channel for more madness and craziness around the way. And on your way they're coming. Have it good, see you next time, and goodbye.